Hello, and thank you for your interest in our poster. My name is Dan Anco. I'm with Clemson University, and this work was conducted with James Thomas and Scott Munford. The title of our poster is Efficacy and Profitability of Insecticide Treatments for Tomato Spotted Wilt Management on Peanut in South Carolina. And this work, the funding was provided by the South Carolina Peanut Board, the National Peanut Board, and some of the seed was provided by Georgia Seed Development. So overall, tomato spotted wilt is an important disease of peanuts and common in a lot of peanut producing areas in the states. It's caused by a virus vectored by thrips, and so this study wanted to compare efficacy and profitability of the different insecticide treatments across a range of cultivar susceptibility groups. And so we did an analysis of 32 different studies. Here in table 1, we kind of got the breakout of those studies, how many we had with each of the different treatments and susceptibility groups across a different number of years. We got a picture here showing some of the circular rings that we get there and some streaking too. And the different susceptibility groups are shown here in the table. Susceptible, moderately susceptible, resistant, and taking this into context, all these could still be considered to be resistant to some of the historical varieties in the past who just gotten hammered by tomato spotted wilt. Okay, figure 1, we've got a rough breakout of the raw data, kind of summarized in these box plots. We can see some trends. We ran some stats on it. That's with this first formula here on the left, and then figure 2 shows the results there. On the left, we've got differences in the contrasts for tomato spotted wilt incidence, and on the right, we got the yield results. Generally speaking, imidacloprid increased incidence and phorate decreased incidence. Whereas with the resistant varieties for phorate, we didn't get a significant difference there, but we still got yield increase there. And generally for the imidacloprid treatments, we also got increases there too compared to the check, except for that susceptible group. Imidacloprid plus fluopyram generally behaved similar with respect to imidacloprid by itself in these tests. Imidacloprid followed by acephate as a postemergent application generally brought down the total amount of spotted wilt incidence and then increased the yield, though we do see a little bit more variation with that treatment. All right. So then we did some more work here with these other formulas that you see to get the projected yield and return increase. And so that gave us a given probability for a given amount of yield increase for each of the different treatments. And that was based off of the amount of variation that we saw for those different treatments between the different trials that we had. And then putting it into the returns, we took this contract price that we put in there, and then the treatment estimated cost that we see here, that's not including fuel or time or any kind of opportunity costs at all. And so that gave us these kind of projected lines here. Up here at the top, we got the different dashed lines, what they mean. On the left is projected yield increases. On the right, we've got projected returns. The lines kind of curve down, so that shows we got a larger chance of having a smaller effect versus the untreated control, and a smaller effect down there by the right of having a much larger yield increase or return increase. And those results are all kind of summarized down here in this rectangle here on the left. Overall, the imidacloprid followed by acephate was the most profitable, and that for the susceptible group was followed by imidacloprid plus fluopyram. Those two were not significantly different. And then, next after that was phorate and then imidacloprid. And the dollar signs that we see here, so on the top we got the product cost and all the other dollar signs that we see here, that's the estimated profitability, the return, taking into account how much the yield response was, as well as for what the treatment cost was. And so for the moderately susceptible group, the order there, imidacloprid followed by acephate, and then phorate. Phorate was about $80 per acre more profitable than doing nothing. That was then significantly greater than imidacloprid by itself, and then imidacloprid plus fluopyram. And then the resistant group, imidacloprid and phorate basically gave the same response. You can see that in that panel F over there. The lines are pretty much right on top of each other. Both given in about $45 per acre, more profitable compared to the untreated check. All right, the citation for this work is down here at the bottom left of the page. If you want to look some more and see any more details that we did, I'd be happy to follow up with you. Any questions you might have, feel free to give me a call, or you can send me a note with an email, danco@clemson.edu. And then other caveats that I might just throw in there real quick is these were pretty much thrips and tomato spotted wilt tests, and so we had full fungicide programs going throughout the growing season, and then these specific fields by and large didn't really have substantial nematode populations in them. So any kind of differences otherwise that we might see between the different treatments for either nematodes or fungal diseases wouldn't be captured by these results. And likewise, anytime we're doing multiple different control measures, that's going to influence how much tomato spotted wilt we might ultimately get, and then that'll influence the results as well. But thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of the meeting.